Hello all. I'm Santhosh. I live in Tokyo here, and I'm a storyteller by passion. Uh, Recently, I came to visited India and did three storytelling shows there, and some of you were there in the show. Uh, so today, I chose to tell one of the stories I told in the show. So it might be a repeat telecast for you guys. So please bear with me for that. So today, I am going to tell a story called Summer Burglar. Uh, it's the title of the story is Summer Burglar. Why a summer burglar? Because, uh, like in many countries, winter in Tokyo, in Japan, is really, really cold. So during the winter time, people try to shut their door, shut their window tight, and then sleep. But summer, like in Chennai, is really, really hot here in Japan. So when the summer is hot, people tend to leave their doors and windows open, and it's not really difficult for a burglar to get into a house. He doesn't need any special skill to get into a house. So a burglar who goes to burgle in summer is one which doesn't have a specific skill for burglary, right? So we are going to see one such burglar today. Let's get into this story. Oh God, this is my first burglary. Wish me luck. I need a lot of money. I'll choose that house. Oh, door is open. I am lucky. I'm gonna get a lot of money today. Is there anyone? Is there anyone in the home? There's no one. Let me get in. Ah, that's weird in here. Oh, there is someone sleeping there. Oi, get up. Uh, what? Who are you? What are you doing here? You know what I'm doing here. Uh, you know what you're doing here. How am I supposed to know what you're doing here? I'm a burglar. You're a burglar. Oh, then I don't have to worry. Thank you. Good night. Did you hear me? I'm a burglar. Shh, don't shout. Are you a rookie? The neighbors might hear you. How did you? No, I'm not a rookie. My neighbor is a sumo wrestler. If he hears you, he'll come and sit on you. Be careful. Shh, shut up. Give me all your money. Like that. And regarding the money, I don't have any. Good night. I don't believe it. Have some money. If you don't give your money, I'm going to kill you with my sword here. You have a sword? And you will kill with me? Kill me with that? It's quite dark, but do you actually have a sword? I I I left it in my home. But I have a knife. I will kill you with my knife. You have a knife. It's shiny. Yeah. So if I don't give you money, you will kill me. Yes, I will kill you. You promise me? Yes, I'm serious. I'm gonna kill you. Then please kill me. Kill me, please. Kill me. Shh. Don't kill you. Why? Why do you want to die? You know, I'm so poor. I've not eaten in many days. I don't want to live. Actually, I planned to kill myself, but I was not brave enough. You, the right burglar at the right time. Thank you for coming. Kill me. Kill me, please. Shh. Sumo wrestler. Why? You look so young. Like, why do you want to die? I'm a carpenter, but I can't do my work because I don't have my tools with me anymore. What happened to your tools? It's at the pawn shop. Pawn shop? Go get your tools back and get back to work then. I know, I know. But I don't have that much money. You don't have that much money? How much do you need? 3 yen. 3 yen? Just 3 yen is not just little money. Right? You can get it from anywhere and get back your tools. I know, I know. I can't even get 3 yen. I'm worthless. So I don't want to live. Kill me! Kill me! Kill me! Shh! You're gonna get me killed. Okay, okay, just be silent. I'll give you the 3 yen. Okay, you okay? Fine. Yeah, there you go. This 3 yen. Get back your two. You gave me 3 yen. You're so kind. You know, I have a lot of friends. Nobody helped me. But you being a total stranger, you gave me 3 yen. You're so kind. Your kindness makes me cry. But I can't take this money. I have to give it back to you. No. Take the money. You don't have to be modest. Please take it. No, no. I'm not being modest. This not enough. Not enough? You told you need 3 yen, right? Yeah, yeah, right. But the 3 yen is just the principal. I have to pay the interest too. Interest? Now I have to pay your interest too? No way. No way. I can't pay your interest. I, why should you pay my interest? So I don't want to live. Kill me. Kill me, please. Shh. Okay. Okay. 2 more end, right? Just be silent. I'll give you 2 more end. Okay. Take this 2 more end. Pay the interest. Get your tools back. Okay. Oh, you gave me 2 more end. You're so kind. You know what? You should put burglary. You're too kind for it. You gave me 2 end. You're so kind. Your kindness makes me cry. But I can't take this money. I have to give it back to you. Why? You took the money, right? But take it. Give it. I, I come here. Touch me. Touch you. Ah, you're naked. Why are you naked? I'm so poor. I don't even have a kimono. Even if I take this money, I can't go to the pawn shop naked. So I don't want to die. I don't want to live. Kill me. Kill me, please. Shh, shh. Okay, again. There you go again. Fine. This is my only kimono. Okay. I'll give you 3 more end for a kimono. Okay. Take this money, get a kimono, get your tools back. Okay? Oh, you gave me 3 yen. You're so kind. Your kindness makes me cry. But I can't take this money. I have to give it back to you. Why? Take it. I don't have any more money. Please take it. Okay. I've not eaten in 10 days. I'm so hungry. Hungry. Okay. Okay. You need some food, right? Fine. I'll give you 1 more end for rice. Take this end and get some rice. Okay? Oh, you gave me 1 yen for rice. But I need curry with it. I love curry so much. Okay. 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 1 more end for curry. Actually, my last 1 yen. Take this. Eat well. Okay? Thank you. Thank you. You're so. You don't have any more money? I don't have any more money. Oh, show me your wallet. Yes, see? I don't have any more money. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You're so kind. Your kindness makes me cry. But I can't take this. I have to return it back to you. Why? What else do you need? I don't have any more money. I gave you money for your food, for your clothes, for everything. What else do you need? Oh, rent? Rent? I can't pay your rent. You get your tools, get your job, and pay the rent with the salary. My landlord, he's a kind person, just like you. He never asks me for the rent. He knows I don't work. If I take this money, I'll start working. He might ask the rent back, and I can't pay him until I get the salary. That would be too embarrassing. I don't want to live. Kill me. Kill me, please. Shh. Okay, but I really don't have any money. What should I do? Huh? Can you check there? Right? Yeah. How did you know? I had 10 and hidden here. Okay. Take this. Get back your life. Bye. Oh, you gave me 10 and for rent. You're so kind. Your kindness makes me great. Stop. Don't complete that. I'll just leave before you complete that sentence. Okay. Bye. Actually, I gave all my money to you. So do you have 1 yen for me? Oh, I don't have it. Okay. Fine. Keep all the money. I will leave now. Lost all my money, but actually, I feel good today. I helped someone. Helping someone feels good. Okay. I'll think about my burglary. Bye. See you. Oh, thank you. Bye. Bye. Oh, what's your name? Oh, burglar! Burglar! Shh. Why are you calling me burglar? Did I take any money from you? You are the burglar here. I don't have it. What else do you need now? Just one more. Can you come back next month, please? That's the story.
Okay. So the burglar was not a success as a burglar, but a success as a human being.
Yeah.
So you mentioned to me that is a story that's often told when people are being trained in this form of storytelling. That is one of the first stories that people learn.
Yes, this is one of the first stories people learn here. Yes.
What is the name of the form of storytelling that is your inspiration?
Right. So this, as you probably all of you saw, I did it in a very different way than usually storytelling is done here. So this is a storytelling form called rakugo, which is practiced in Japan. And in this format, a story is told in dialogue forms. So there's no narrator who's narrating the story. So it's always the characters who interacts with each other in dialogue form. And like by turning our heads this way and this way, we turn to different characters and act out the story rather than telling the story. So this is the art form I practice in Rakugo. I've been learning this for past 2 years, and hopefully I can learn more and do more.
Mm-hmm. And another quality of this art form, you've explained to me that often the last line is a sort of it's like in haiku.
Punch.
Also in
Right.
haiku, the last bit of a haiku kind of is juxtaposition to the rest of it. And here the last line is kind of funny, or well, in this case, the man in the house said, "But burglar, will you come again next month?" which is funny because, usually you don't want a burglar to come. But in this case, it was a helpful burglar. So
Yeah.
that was
So,
that.
right. In
Mm,
the last line, as you told, Rick, like it's called ochi in Japanese. Ochi means fall in Japanese language. So
mm,
it's the punchline. Like the last line, the story goes and the last line goes, like, it falls. So it's called ochi in Japanese.
mhm. And as you say, it's mostly in dialogue form, but sometimes the characters speak their minds. They just speak their thoughts.
Right. Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
but there is no narrator. So I
There's no line.
questioned, I said, well, maybe we should call this a form of drama, not a form
Right.
of storytelling. But
Yeah.
it's okay either way. As I've mentioned in our course, in some forms of storytelling, you have the option of treating your listeners as the other character.
Right.
But what you were doing, it's a more theatrical thing because, like, one actor was talking to the other actor, and then the other actor, or the one character was talking to the other character, and the other character back and forth in a sort of diagonal. But in
Right.
storytelling, we also have the option of looking straight ahead at the listeners and saying, no, please pay my rent. Please
Right.
give me
Yeah.
a kimono. Please give me money to go and get my tools. So I'm looking into the camera and I'm treating each of you as if you're the character who might give me the money to get the rent.
Mm.
So this is another option you have in storytelling. But what you were doing, this diagonal thing, you don't really
Yeah.
look at the audience very much.
No.
I think when you have a live audience, in a theater, you see everybody.
Yeah. I kind of, yeah,
Yeah,
noticed
but in a
everybody.
in a video conference, I think because when you do this diagonal thing back and forth, you really don't see the people on the screen very much.
Right. Also,
Because
there were two different things. One is when I was performing live, yeah, like, it's a wider audience, so I was able
yes,
to
that's
like
right.
see them. Here today, I couldn't see much at
Hmm.
all, and also like I think everybody is muted here. So in the live audience, you get the feedback, so you know when they're laughing, when they're not laughing. So you
Hmm.
know to change your pace and stuff. Yeah, today was so silent, so I was like, oh, okay,
Hmm.
that was a little comfortable for me. Yeah.
Anyone else? Any well, I see some things in the chat section. Love the dialogue delivered with so much zest. Yes, Santosh has a talent for having energy in this dialogue, and I think it may be built into the form of storytelling that the characters speak with authority. Because
Right.
every story that I've heard you tell in this style, it has a similar energy.
Right. Mm.
Hmm. Anybody else? Any comments, questions, thoughts?
I love the telling. It was amazing, brought the story to life, and I was wondering who is the burglar here,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, wonderful. It was very. I mean, the story was so alive, and theater, drama, or storytelling. At the end of the day, it's telling a story. So loved it, Santosh. Excellent.
Yeah, thank you, Raman. This was your second time, so like, yeah, you enjoyed it second time, but
It was as if I was watching it for the first time. Trust me when I say that.
thank you. Thank you.
I totally agree with you, Ramya. So this is the third time I'm listening to the same story, but every time I have that fun. Oh, don't say that. You make me cry. So those are the feelings that I always enjoy those moments.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Nidhi. Yes.
It's not just to
Like
make me
I,
cry. It's, if the man in the house keeps calling, saying, burglar, burglar, the police might come. Or
yeah,
the neighbors might call the police. So the
yeah.
burglar, he keeps telling him, don't say that. Don't call me a burglar.
So when I was performing in Bangalore, like when I was doing the man and house, when I was looking this side, Deepa was in my sight. So I was looking at Deepa when I was doing the stories. Yeah.
So,
This side was Deepa, this side was Ramya. Right, yes.
so
Yeah.
Santhosh, do you think you can like take almost any story and tell it in this style?
Yes, actually, I'm working on that right now. Right, like I'm collecting some of my favorite stories. The main challenge is all these stories which I've been telling now are actually stories. You have a narrator, and this. So the main challenge is to convert that into dialogue form, and just the characters talking the dialogue below. So I'm in process of converting some of my stories in this. It's a challenge actually, but it's fun.
Well,
So
as we've mentioned, instead of having a narrator, if necessary, if information has to be given, you can have a
right,
character speaking
characters speak.
speaking
Yes,
his thoughts,
yes, yes.
doing a soliloquy, and
Right,
that's a way of giving exposition, as it's called in
right,
theater. Because sometimes you do have to help the audience members kind of catch up on the background.
right.
So you can do that by having a character speak his or her thoughts.
Right. So, like as we discussed in the epic storytelling, I'm going to tell a Ramayana story in this format.
Mm-hmm.
The next storytelling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Santhosh and some others are in a course, a storytelling course I'm teaching, which meets on the Sunday after these Monday sessions. So next Sunday, Santhosh is going to be telling a story about Hanuman in this Japanese style. So that's what I mean when I say Santhosh is going to be bridging Japanese and Indian culture by telling, stories from the two cultures and in styles from the two cultures. Okay, shall we move on? Does anyone want to add anything, or is that enough? Oh my gosh, Nageshwara Rao, I think you've had a hard day at work. You're a teacher, right? You're a teacher in Hyderabad.
Yes. Good
Okay,
evening.
okay. Well, if you like, we can turn off your camera so you can really relax. That might be the best way out. You'll still get, yeah, there you go. You can still see us, but us storytellers, we don't really like to see people sleeping unless we're telling a bedtime story.
Sorry. Thank you.
That's okay. It's okay. No, it's good to relax when we're listening. In real storytelling, half the people are on the floor, half the people are sleeping. It's all good. Okay. Now, Nidhi and Jayanthi, you have agreed to switch. So, Nidhi, you're going to tell now. Is that correct? Are you ready, Nidhi?
Yes.
Okay, and we're all in gallery mode, but I suggest, Nidhi, if you can, move the image of someone who seems like a good listener to directly underneath the camera. Can you move people's images around?
Yes,
Okay,
I can.
so bring someone there, and let's see, I'm just from my camera, I'm going to magnify your image, but that doesn't affect what anybody else sees. Okay, so Nidhi, please introduce yourself fully. Tell us where you're telling from, tell us about your work, and please tell us a story.
Thanks, Eric. Hi, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you all are. So I'm Nidhi Bagaria. I'm based in Mumbai. I am an educator and a storyteller, and the founder of a venture called The Creative World, which is a storytelling and creative expression program. And I work with children mainly, but also with adults and senior citizens. And I believe stories build a bridge and touch hearts. And I'm also currently pursuing a course with Eric. So today's story is a folk tale. Considering today's topic, something that touched my heart, and I would like to share that story with all of you. I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed reading it and kind of understanding the nuances of the story. So it's a Japanese folk tale, and it's called as The Tiger's Eyelash. It was a long time ago when the wars used to happen. There was a man and a woman who fell in love with each other and finally decided to live their life together in companionship. And they got married. They lived happily in each other's company every day, doing what they loved. But soon, there was a time when there was war that was announced, and the man had to go to war as a soldier. The wife, the woman, was heartbroken, scared, thinking, would he come back or not? As all the men left, the women and the rest of the family members who were left behind waited, hoping and praying that they will all come back fine once the war gets over. The woman waited for her man, praying she would manage the farm, she would cook, she would do everything, and in her heart, there would still be that fear. Would he come back? Would he come back alive? But she would suppress it and keep hoping that he will come back. Soon, the seasons changed from summer, there was autumn, there was winter. The next summer came, and she still waited for some news to come. And in the next spring, the news came that the war was over and all the men were going to come back. The women and the family members rejoiced, waiting for their family, for their men to come back. The woman was overjoyed and she started to prepare for her husband to come back. She prepared, she cooked all the favorite meals and she cleaned the house, and she was just looking forward to meet him and to go back to the days that they had shared together. The day came when all these men were back and everyone went to meet them. The woman went to him and tried to hug him just the way they used to, but he flinched. He didn't want to be touched. She looked at his eyes, but he was not the same. And alas, it was with all the rest of the men. They all looked gaunt and thin, and they had these glazed looks in their eyes. The woman led her husband home. She welcomed him, and she served all that she had cooked for him. The man just looked at the food, picked up some rice and ate it as if it was ash, and moved in a corner and sat there. The woman was very devastated. She looked at him and she didn't know what to do. She went again to him and said, "At least try the dishes. Look what all I have made for you." That really angered him. And he threw the plate around and became such a violent, ferocious, just like a bear. She didn't know what to do. She ran outside. She thought maybe tomorrow would be better. But this kept repeating every single day. She would prepare items for him. She would try and talk to him, but he would not respond. He would become very, very angry, and she would not know what to do. After a period of a few weeks, she didn't know what to do, and she was tired. And she said, "I need help. I need to do something. I need to get my husband back. what can I do? Yes, I will go to the healer who lives beyond the village. And so she traveled to the healer. She went to the old woman and she told her all that was happening with her, her entire story. The healer listened. And she said, yes, dear child, you have a serious problem. Oh man, can you help me? What can I do? Please give me a potion. Tell me so that I can go back to what it was, so we can live our life the way it was. The healer said, you can't expect to go back to what it was. You have changed since your husband went to war. He has changed since he went to war. So expecting things to go back to the way they were may not happen. Really? Isn't there anything that I can do? Can't I get my husband back? Can't I see him the way he was, the loving and caring person? I think I have an idea. There might be a potion that I can make for your husband that may bring him back. But I don't have one ingredient for that, and that's a tiger's eyelash. But I think you can go and get it yourself. Really? I will do anything. I will do anything to get my husband back. And so the healer explained to her what to do, what to carry, and go on top of the mountain, find the tiger, and get the eyelash. The next morning, the woman, with hope in her heart and carrying all the materials that the healer had told her, she went off. She told her husband, I will be back in a few days. And she went off on her journey, started to climb the mountain. It was not an easy journey. The mountain was full of rocks, a very steep climb. As she climbed up, there was wind that pushed her behind. But the hope in her heart kept her going on. She dipped inside for strength and kept thinking that, yes, the thought that she's going to go back to her husband, to her old life, that kept her going on. As she climbed up, the moon shone brighter, and the village lights looked tinier and tinier. It was dangerous. She felt fearful, but she kept on walking. Finally, she reached the top of the mountain and searched for the cave. There it was. And the tiger was right there. She stood there thinking, what shall I do? How can I approach this tiger? She waited for some time for the tiger to move around. And then she thought, yes, I will bring out the meals, the tasty meals which I have carried, and I will try and put them near the cave. And so, first day, she went and put some delicious meat meals near the entrance of the cave and waited a little far away to see what the tiger would do. The tiger came out, he sniffed, looked around, was unsure, thinking this might be a trap of some human, and did not touch the meat, but went inside again. The woman waited with bated breath. The tiger came out again, looked around, not seeing anybody. He licked and he gobbled it up. Now, this went on for a few days. The woman would keep the meat and she would bring her distance a little near. The tiger would come, he would snip, he would look around, and he would just gobble up the meat. Now, the time was running out, and she knew she had to hurry up. One fine day, she decided to muster her courage, and she kept the meat there and stood her ground. The tiger came out, and he saw her. He looked straight into her eyes. Child, why are you here? What brings you here? I can see you've been keeping food for me. Why is that? Oh, tiger, I need your help for my husband. I need to make a potion, and for that, I need your eyelash. Please, could you help me? All right, not batting an eyelash. Take it. I can see you've been respectful towards me, and you are asking for what you want. Please take it and never come back over here. Take it and leave immediately. And so, the woman went near the tiger, went to the eye, plucked the eyelash, brought it into her hands, and she thanked the tiger profusely and ran back as fast as she could. She was so happy that she could finally find the eyelash and go back and make the potion for her husband. She ran as fast as she could, stumbling on the rocks in between, and went straight to the healer. She knocked on the door and said, "Look, I have come. Mother, I have got the eyelash. Can you see it? I got it." And the healer said, "Oh, yes, you did. Please tell me the story of your adventure. How did you find the tiger? What happened?" And the woman told the healer the entire story of how she was able to get the eyelash. "Well done, my daughter. Well done. That was very brave of you." The healer took the eyelash in her hands like this, looked at it, and threw it in the fire. The eyelash burned with a crackle. The woman looked at the healer and said, "What did you do? I worked so hard to get this eyelash and you threw it in the fire. You were going to make a potion for me to bring my husband back. What did you just do? How can you do this? You are an evil healer." "Stop. It's all right." "No, how did you do this? Why? "It's all right. It's all right." The woman calmed down. The healer looked at her and said, "While you were on the mountain, you learned many lessons. Now, it was not about the tiger's eyelash, but go back to your husband. Use these lessons to get him back." And that's what happened. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, you're telling with a very strong sense of reality.
Yeah.
We really, we felt it. That woman's reality was very strong. Anybody, any thoughts, comments, questions? So that's a Japanese story?
Yes, it's
The
a
folk-
Japanese folktale.
It's
Yes.
a folktale, huh?
Yes, it's a folktale. It's a Japanese folktale.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the name of it? Do you know the name
The
of the story?
Tiger's Eyelash.
Tiger's Island. That's it. Okay.
Yes.
I did not
Beautiful
expect
story.
this end. I thought she might get some portion, which I did not want to believe that something can happen with a portion or something, because this is all about your experiences. So maybe she was trying to give her the taste of the medicine that her husband was having for all these months. But this was an unexpected thing, and you narrated it so well. I loved it.
Thank you, Nidhi, for that beautiful narration. I was hoping that the story shows that it's a journey that matters. And I was so glad about the lesson. I feel life is totally about this. Life is about accepting challenges and how we grow through the obstacles that come. But the way you narrated, I was literally traveling through the whole thing. And I think as a storyteller, what I feel the biggest challenge is to hold the attention of the audience. So in the beginning, you have all the ears of the audience. Towards the end, again, they come back. But to keep them glued to the whole narration is it's challenging. And I think you did a wonderful job. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I like that the healer knew that the tiger's eyelash was only a symbol. It actually reminds me of a poem from the ancient Tamil poetry, the collection, where a young woman is brought to a healer who calls spirits, because the young woman is very depressed. She's very sad, and the mother and father think that a demon is in the girl, but the healer tries to drive out the demon, but the girl's girlfriend says, "Foolish people, she's lovesick for a particular young man. It's not about a demon." It's a poem written 2,000 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's part of the Akkam Tamil poetry body of literature. So even then, people knew that there's different types of healing are necessary. It's mostly psychological healing.
Yeah.
They actually recently made a movie from that poem, Eric.
Really?
It's called Kottukali, the Tamil
Uh-huh.
movie.
Uh-huh.
It was critically acclaimed. Nidhi, I loved your telling. You added a lot of emotions to the stories, I guess, and I loved your pauses, where you gave, like when the healer was throwing away the eyelash, there was a pause you gave, and the tiger, there was a pause, and there. So those pauses were effective, and I liked that.
Thank you.
Very good, very good.
Thank you so much.
I'd like to jump in if I may.
Go ahead, Barry.
Hey, I have arrived. I'm at this beautiful school that I'm about to tell stories at, but I really enjoyed the story, and I am familiar, and I don't know if anyone else said this, with a similar version, an Ethiopian tale called The Lion's Whiskers. And it's a little bit different because in that story, the woman marries a man who has a son who doesn't accept her as his stepmother. And so she also goes to a wise person, has to get the lion's whiskers, and learns the lesson of patience on how to approach her son or her stepson. And I was actually last night just editing a video of a student, a class retelling of the story. that I did with students. But it's really fascinating to hear a similar story from Japan. So thank you very much for that. And the telling was lovely. What I could glean as I drove. And I have to sign off now. So thank you very much, Eric, for doing this as always. And good to see folks.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Nidhi, it's not that you added emotion to it or put emotion in it. It just, the story brought out the emotion.
Yes.
Woman's situation naturally brought it out. So you didn't have to, I always feel that people should not force emotion into a storytelling because there's no need to. If it's a good story, it will produce its own emotion. And that's what happened here.
Yes.
Okay, shall we go on? Okay, so Jayanti, you're in Chennai, right?
Yes.
Wonderful. And let's see. Okay, so please introduce yourself and tell us about your work, and then please tell us a story. But just one moment, let me get set up here. On my side, let me put your picture big on the screen. Okay, please go ahead. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. I am an educator, a storyteller, a YouTuber. Recently, my subscriptions, subscribers crossed 1,000 mark, and they say it's the first milestone. And my storytelling actually started for children, but slowly it became Krishna stories, and especially on Temple Guruvayurappan and then Narayaniyam. I'm a teacher teaching Narayaniyam also, and there are a lot of students. I retired recently, last week, and so now I can get into storytelling fully, and then my passion of reading, reciting, teaching Narayaniyam. And I love telling stories, especially, the stories, the characters, they appeal to children. I don't know. I choose stories like that. Today also I have chosen a story, The Little Girl. You might have read this. Catherine, she has written the story. And somehow this appealed to me. This is in class 9 textbook. It is there, English textbook. It is there. And so I thought I will choose this for today's storytelling. Kezia is her name. She is a little girl. Little girl, you can imagine, with her features, little hands, little face. And it is nice, probably, if you have a character like her, move around in the house. She lives with her parents, her grandmother, but she's not a very happy character, especially when her father is around. She's very scared of him. He is, you can imagine, he is just opposite of this little girl. He is a huge personality, especially when he yawns. It reminds our little Kezia of a big giant who is going to gobble her up. I don't know from where. Maybe one of the stories she was reading, she got this idea. And in front of him, most of the time she stutters. And he even, reprimands her, telling, Kezia, when are you going to stop this? Otherwise, your mama is going to take you to a doctor. And she will say, no, Papa, I will stop this. But she has stopped this habit in front of others. Not, maybe she's trying too hard to speak in a normal manner, changing her whatever. So she's not able to speak properly in front of him. She stutters a lot. And this gives her a complex. She never wants to come, sit in front of her parents even. Most of the time, the mother also supports her, supports the father. So she would hide away behind her grandmother. But her grandmother felt that the little girl is kind of hiding, and she has to spend more time with her parents. So she would send her down on small errands like, go help mama. Your father has come back from the office. Go help him. Get him the teacup. She will slowly come. Stairs she would get down, at least in a little fast pace, but living room she will cross very slowly. And then by the time she reaches her parents, her father would have started put on the spectacles, he would have started reading the newspaper, and he'll just look at her like that. How was the day for you? Was it good? Did you behave? Always it is did you behave well? Did you do any mistake? And she would start to explain in a stuttering manner. No, I didn't. By the time she could spell a few words, a father would get impatient and say, come on, hurry up, Kezia. How long you are going to try to explain? And this would go on. Especially she hated the Sundays when the father was at home full time, and he would lie in the sofa in the living room, putting a handkerchief on his eyes, and the mother would relax in a sofa. Kezia would spend the time with her grandmother, but the grandmother would send her down for her to spend more time with the parents. And so this was going on for some time. And her grandmother felt pity for the small Kezia. She thought that she has to do something. So she said, Kezia, your father's birthday is coming soon. Why don't you make something for him? And so this girl, she wanted to make a pin cushion for him. So she got a nice, beautiful, colorful, yellow color cloth. And then she stitched on all the three sides. But she needed something to stuff inside the cushion so that, it is usable. And she was searching. She could not find her mother. She could not find her grandmother. Slowly, she climbed up the stairs. She entered her mother's bedroom, and she saw a few nice papers were kept on the table of her mother. She took all that. She tore a little bit to pieces and stuffed her cushion. And she needed more. So she took all the papers and she tore it into pieces and stuffed her cushion. And she nicely sewed it. And it looked really nice. She kept it in a place hidden so that nobody can see that. What happened? It was a Sunday night. And the next day, her father had to present something. He's working in port. He had to present a speech or something. And he was searching throughout the house. And then he asked his wife, he asked the mother. He never dreamt that somebody would have torn that and made a nice pincushion. And she didn't come forward. She understood that she had done a mistake. Kezia has understood that she has done something grave, and she was really waiting what is going to happen. And slowly her mother came up. Kezia, did you take any papers? She asked in a soft voice. She said, yes, Mama. This cushion I made with those papers. And her mother was feeling so bad. She brought the child down and she made her stand in front of the father. She said, she has done it. Father was so angry. Take her up. I don't want to see her. Don't give her any food today. And then he couldn't control his anger even. So Kezia was trying to sleep. She had covered herself fully. And then he came. How can you spoil my whole week's work, Kezia? You have literally spoiled everything. and he took a ruler and hit her pink palm. She said, no, 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 Papa, no, I won't do it again. She was crying, sobbing. And the father, probably his anger was spent, so he left the room. She was sobbing, sobbing, sobbing. Then the grandmother came in. She lifted her, she hugged her, and she made her lie on herself. She's tiny. Kezia is a very little girl. So she was just kind of hiding in her grandmother's lap. And then she asked the question, why do God make fathers for Granny? And then Granny couldn't control anything. She said, no, no, now you stop. Take this handkerchief. Wipe your eyes. Sleep. Things will be better the next day. Next day, nothing changed because this has made a big mark for her, not only in the hand, but in her heart too. Slowly, steadily, things started going, and then she wouldn't come down. But one day, say maybe the next week, she came down. She happened to peep through the window in a neighbor's garden. Mr. McDonald's was there. 5 children were, they were playing tag. And so 2 were hugging on the hip side and 2 were holding his legs. And one was trying to pour water on him. And it was such a beautiful scene. Then she understood not all fathers are same. See, you have this kind of father also. So it was a big learning moment for her. And she came up that day. Her mother was very sick, or I don't know what, she couldn't understand anything. Grandmother and her mother were missing from the afternoon. And then the maid told her that, baby, mother and grandmother will not be at home today. So I am giving you some food. You have that and go to bed. Don't trouble your father. He's a really nice person. He has worked himself so hard to bring your family to this. She was just looking. Is she talking about my father, my daddy? And then she was just trying to sleep. But of late, she is getting a dream, a nightmare, in that there is a butcher who's trying to kill something. And she is imagining that is the butcher is coming to kill her. And she was running, screaming at the top of her voice. She didn't even realize that she was literally screaming. And she saw a light moving, candlelight. It was the middle of the night. She was looking for her granny to comfort her, but no granny was there that time. Then this little light, candlelight, she saw a big father was standing by her side. He was there and he said, what happened, Kezia? Why were you screaming? The butcher, he's coming to kill. She was trying to say something. He said, are you having this kind of nightmares? Yes. I would like to go to Granny. But she knew that Granny was not there at home that time. So her father put out the candle. He lifted the child. He took her to his room. And he tucked her in. He made her very comfortable. And he also, by the side, rested. And in the night, she felt very cold. And she tried to hug him. And she put her head under his big arm. And slowly, this made her come to keep her ear on his heart. And she could hear the heart beating. And she, in her sleep, said, Daddy, you have a really big heart. I can hear it beating. And then she went to sleep. That brought a change in her, because she understood maybe her father is working so much. Maybe she should be also understanding, be nice to the parents. And the father is, after all, in the time of need, when there was no one at home, he took care of her and she understood him very well. And it is a kind of, a relationship developed. She matured, you can say, to an understanding child. So I like this story very much. So I wanted to share this with you.
Well, you certainly internalized the story. When people are going to tell a story that was written by somebody else, I always say, well, don't memorize the words, don't read the words off the page when you're performing. But you internalized it. It's you told it from inside yourself.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think the story is called The Little Girl?
I understood in the beginning, I mean, in the days when I started teaching this story, that she is small. And then I understood that there is a little more meaning to that.
Mm-hmm.
She is not so big-hearted. So maybe she didn't understand people in their perspective. So she grew up. In the beginning, she was little hearted or little a child who could not understand. So that's why it might have been given this name. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. She began as a little girl.
Yes, she began as a little girl.
Mm-hmm. Anybody? Any thoughts?
I just wanted to share that I love the story, and Catherine Mansfield has a wonderful way of bringing in human emotions. Recently, at the same Eric's platform, I told a story, The Cup of Tea by Catherine Mansfield, and that story touched me a lot. And I can understand when you said, you chose the story because it touched you. So she has a wonderful way of writing, and I love Catherine Mansfield's work. Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Jayanti ma'am, thank you so much for that story. You made it so believable. My goodness. I want to share with everyone that my son is in ninth and he just finished with his exams. So I did the story with him and we both loved the story. He thought probably there are some angles which he feels for a father, that father is big, father is not approachable, and maybe he's busy with work. But the way you put the details in the story, the way you've added the little touch with your own ways, you made it very, very identifiable, very relatable. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Thank you so much.
I agree completely with what she said, because my daughter is in class 9 and I have also read this story. And my daughter came to me with the perspective that, my husband, he leaves to work early, comes home late. He is with in IT department. He also leaves to abroad countries sometime of the month. So she misses her father so much. And after this Kezia story, she said that I understand his work. And maybe after he retires or after some time, we will have a good time together when I finish my education and when I'm in college. Maybe we can have some good time together, and I'll wait till that. So this story has changed the perspective of my daughter also.
Yes.
Go ahead, Deepa.
I have a question. Though the story was beautiful, it was so relatable. I loved the story. But what is the age group of that girl, the little girl? What age? Because I'm listening to the story for the first time.
There is no mention about her going to school. So probably before that.
Okay.
Otherwise, the author would have mentioned that she is going to school and, she's in this grade and all.
So how many years old do you think she is in your imagination?
I imagine 10. I don't know why.
Mhm.
But when she crumples, she uses the father's papers to make that cushion. That means she's too
Yes, she
young.
doesn't know. Yes.
Yeah.
So I have understood that it is before going to school.
Preschool
She
age.
yes. But see, in those days, maybe at the age of 5 or 6 or 7, they would have started schooling. Not like today. 2.5, you
Yes.
send them.
2, ma'am. 18 months.
Yes, I know.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, we have one more storyteller today, and that is Padmapriya. Are you ready, Padmapriya?
Yeah.
Very good.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Vanakkam. I am Padmapriya from Chennai. Thank you, Dr. Eric Miller, for providing me this opportunity. Yeah. I am right now a homemaker and I advocate for autism awareness. I'm also a poet, a blogger, and an author, and I write in various literary platforms. Uh, yeah, this is what I am. I have a flair for Tamil literature, though I have not studied Tamil very much after class 8. So I'm going to today narrate a story which is from the Sangam age. So now, this story is titled as A Just Ruler. And I'm going to tell you how wise the ruler is and how the rule of certain kings have been in the past. Now I'm going to take you all through a time travel backwards and put you up to 3rd century BC, which in Tamil literature is called Sangam age. They were eminent rulers and poets in this Sangam age. And hope you're all aware of a woman poet called Avvayar, and she belonged to Sangam age. And now, with this little briefing about the Sangam age, let us all land into the southern part of India, Tamil Nadu, in the beautiful city of Tiruvarur. At the Sangam age, the delta portion of Tamil Nadu was ruled by Chola kings, eminent Chola kings, and Tiruvarur was the capital of the Chola kingdom. The king who ruled was King Yellalan. He is King Yellalan, and this king was very wise. And let's dive deep into this kingdom and his rule. King Yellalan's palace was huge and magnificent. He had flair for statues, so he adorned his palace with different types of statues. The palace had everything, all the luxury and all the facilities. And one prominent thing in King Yellalan's palace was this giant bell. And this bell has a historical value. And what is this bell for? This bell was tied in the king's courtroom. Whoever in this kingdom has a problem, they are allowed to come and ring the bell. And the sound of the bell will be echoed in the king's room, and the king will rush out immediately to help the person in trouble, irrespective of how big or small the problem is, irrespective of the caste, creed, or religion. And his wise rule was loved by the people of his kingdom, and everybody started living so happily and peacefully. Even the neighboring kingdoms wanted a king like King Ellalan. One day, when the king was taking rest in his room, he heard the sound of this bell. And the king rushed out immediately, came out, and saw who had rung the bell. He was shocked. It was not a human who rang the bell. It was an animal who rang the bell. It was a cow that rang the bell. And the king was shocked. The ministers were shocked. The king saw the cow crying so badly. And the king did not know what to do. And he inquired his courtiers about what happened to the cow. And then understood the reason for the cow's tears. King Ellalan had a son, and the prince was named as Vidhi Vidangan. He was brave, skilled in various arts, and he was disciplined. One day, he was riding his chariot on the beautiful streets of Tiruvarur, and as he was enjoying riding the chariot, there came a calf unknowingly, and it got stuck under the wheels of the chariot and crushed to death right in front of Mother Cow's eyes. The prince didn't know what to do. The mother cow came running. The mother cow was shocked to see the calf full of blood stuck under the wheels of the chariot. It could not cry for some time. It was in a state of shock. It went near the calf. It just caressed it slowly. And then it licked the calf. And then, it spoke to the calf. Please get up. There were no signs of heartbeat. It was dead. It took some time for the mother cow to realize that the calf was dead. And now it broke into tears. And who can just keep quiet to see their child dead right in front of their eyes? Cow could not control its tears. It started crying, and crying. And there came an idea. I want justice. The cow now became so angry. And it gathered its strength, collected itself, and started walking so fastly, running towards the palace. And as it reached the palace, it rang the giant bell with full force. Now, the king knew the reason for the cow's tears. The king could not convince the cow. How would he do it? By this time, the people of Tiruvarur have gathered round the palace. They started murmuring, hey, after all, it's a calf. And what justice will this king provide to this cow? Cow will be all right in few days. Some said, it's the prince. Do you know it's the prince who killed the calf? And do you think he will be punished? Never, never. And let's all wait to see what's going to happen. Anyway, the king has to do something. The king felt very bad. And he just sat down for some time. And on hearing that his lovable son had done a blunder, his heart was pounding. He called his ministers and asked them some suggestion as how to provide justice and what can be done on this. One of his ministers came forward and said, let's do some yajna so that the prince will be saved from the unknowing sins that he has caused. And this may calm down the soul of the calf, and the cow will be happy. The king got angry. A blunder has happened, and you're asking me to do some yajna to protect my son. No, never. And he just closed his eyes. He sat down. Then, after some time, he called one of his ministers and said, do what I say. A prince is not above the law of land. So punish him in the same way as how the calf died. Everybody around was in a state of shock. Your Majesty, are you asking me to kill the prince? The minister asked. Yes, do what I say. The minister ran away and he committed suicide. He couldn't do such an act. The king became so angry on hearing this, and he jumped into the chariot immediately. He rode the chariot, and on the beautiful streets of Tiruvarur, like the same way how the calf was dead, he crushed his son to death under the wheels of the chariot. And he experienced the same pain, the agony, the sadness that the cow was undergoing. Now, is this a right way of justice? It's a different story. But Lord Shiva got impressed by this judgment, and he blessed the king, Ellalan, and brought back his son, Vidhi Vidangan, the calf, and the minister to life. And from then on, this king, Ellalan, was used as a metaphor for justice, and he was called Manu Nidhi Choran, where Manu means people, Nidhi means justice in Tamil, and he is remembered as Manu Nidhi Choran. And you believe me or not, the fact is, in the courts, judges mention the name of Manu Nidhi Choran before delivering a verdict. And Chennai's High Court premises has a statue of Manu Nidhi Choran. Now let's all time travel and come back to this century. And would you like to see the chariot, the calf? Yes, I can show you. This is the chariot, and this is the wheels of the chariot, where you can see the calf being killed, crushed to death. And this is available when you go to Tyagaraja Swami temple at Tiruvarur. This is the famous Kalter of Tiruvarur, which depicts this incident, the real incident, with the calf's picture being crushed under the wheels. And I don't know if this is the right way of justice, but people have been like this before. And right is right, even when everybody is against it. Wrong is wrong, even if everybody is for it. Good justice gives good governance. I can quote a parallel story which I heard, that in the reign of Jahangir, there was a similar bell. It's called a golden chain of bells. There was a golden chain with 60 bells, and whoever has a problem or a justice being denied to them, they can ring this and alert the king. Let's hope to find such parallel stories and try to travel in the path of justice. Thank you.
The version that I hear is that there's a bell in the village, and actually in the middle of every ancient village in ancient Tamil Nadu there was a bell like that, so somebody could go and call for justice. But in your version, the bell is in the palace of the king.
Thank you, Padmapriya. Really enjoyed this story, and all historical stories are always interesting to hear. And you told it very well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautifully shared, Padmapriya. Loved it.
Thank you. Thank
Wonderful story and lovely. Thanks.
you.
மனுநூதி சோழன் பேரு எல்லாலனா ஓ இப்பதான் தெரிஞ்சது எனக்கு. Thank you.
Yeah, his name was Ellalan.
Oh, his name was Ellalan. I didn't know that.
I didn't want to reveal this name at the beginning, so
Right.
I wanted to say how he got this name Manunidi Choran.
Yeah, we only hear his name as Manunidi Choran.
Choran.
We
Yes.
never heard that name. Yeah.
This story is a very popular story in the lower class Tamil textbooks. Once upon a time, I'm not sure about what's happening now.
Mm-hmm. Well, this story is it's an important story in Tamil culture, and not just this story. There are other examples of it. In fact, this could be called an archetype of Tamil culture, because it comes up again and again, most especially in the great story of Tamil Nadu, Silaparigaram, where a woman again comes to tell the king, in your story, the woman or the cow said her son had been killed. In Silaparigaram, the woman says, my husband was killed unjustly. And in both cases, the king listens and has a conscience. And when it's proved that he misapplied justice, that justice was misapplied, well, in your story, he puts his own son to death. In Silaparigaram, the king basically commits suicide. I mean, he stops breathing, he stops his blood pressure, he lays down and dies of a broken heart that he had abused justice, that he had killed Kanagi's husband, Kovalan, unjustly. So this character of a king who has a conscience and who is ready to punish himself or his family, it's still in the air in Tamil Nadu. I think it still affects police and politicians, because they know that if they make a mistake, they will pay for it, and they want to pay for it. Because they believe that if a ruler makes a mistake, he or she should pay for it. You don't find that in every culture. I don't even know the rest of India. Is there something like this throughout India? I think throughout India there's the character of a king who renounces his power at some time. He gives up his power. He goes into the forest. But I'm not sure it's as dramatic a giving up of power as in these Tamil stories.
In North India, there have been incidents, and especially if we talk about Ramayana. So the ancestors of Lord Rama, Raja Harishchandra, he is a classic example of Harishchandra is still used as an idiom, as an example. Okay, the person who speaks the truth always, irrespective of the consequences, he or she is being teased or sometimes always said, okay, tum Raja Harishchandra ban rahe ho kya? So they always say that. And in Rajasthan also there have been kings, and especially if I remember it correctly, it's the king who had the horse named Chetak. It was Maharana Pratap.
Yeah.
And there are many other incidents of kings towards north also who have been very fair and just in their own ways.
Mm-hmm.
So they are quite glorious, and anybody and anyone could approach. The similar cases for there are queens also in history who have been very, what should I say, who were very just, and they used to listen and be among their people to know how and what was going on wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And Maharaja Shivaji is also one of those examples from Maharashtra. So, yeah. But I love this story. I heard it for the first time and I was really touched.
Thank you.
It's an interesting question of, when a story like this is so important and so popular over the centuries, is it really meant to be a model for behavior? Or is it just a kind of ideal that functions as an ideal in an epic or mythology, but it's not really meant that we should behave in the exact same way in our human lives? Like Carnegie, Carnegie was so upset, she requested the whole city should be burned. And that story of the Nulla Tungal, the good younger sister, who her sister-in-law won't let her in the house, so she creates a big flood, and the whole village is wiped away by the flood. These are very, powerful and dramatic and extreme actions, which, people will worship a figure like that, but maybe they should not imitate. All right. Well, any other thoughts, comments, questions? I guess you've, Padmapriya, you've known this story many years, right? Your entire life. So you've carried it with you.
Yes, from my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
From my Tamil teachers.
So it made a big.
Child, maybe in class 1 or so.
Uh-huh.
The pictures of the chariot, the calf, and all displayed in the books. That even I still remember that.
So you saw the pictures and then you saw it in your imagination.
Yes, and that's why I made these things, whatever I could do online.
Mm-hmm. Maybe, in the Chennai Storytellers group, we are developing activities to do after we tell a story. So we can show pictures, we can invite the listeners to draw their own pictures after they tell a story to express their imagination. Okay, shall we say good night? Very good.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Okay, bye-bye.